Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All of my Top Gun Options members are here for our weekly Analyze Your Trade and Portfolio Debrief. And my strategic partner, I believe it was Andrew Keene, sent a bunch of folks over today as well. So welcome aboard to all of our new folks who are joining us from other locales. Do me a favor and write your name and where you're from in the chat box. And I want to say welcome aboard to all the new folks who are joining us from that other list. While they're writing that in there, folks, you should have gotten an email last night about our Commodores Club coaching slots and how we might be able to prorate one of your annual subscriptions. Also, I am leaving at the crack of dawn tomorrow morning, folks. 06:45 flight out of Miami, heading out to Lake Tahoe. So I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys out there. I'll see many of you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Lake Tahoe time for our dinner. And Chuck from San Antonio, welcome aboard, Chuck. What other new? Give me an N if you're new, your name and where you're from. And then, folks, tonight is actually going to be our final full throttle session. Let's see, we are doing Iron Condors. We didn't have it the other night because we had Halloween. So full throttle tonight. Session number 8 from 7 to 8 o'clock. We're going to close out our live full training. We did 8 sessions over, 4 or 5 weeks. Great time. A lot of positive comments, so I'm very, very happy about that. So Rebecca used to live out in San Diego, man, God's country. Okay, well, welcome aboard, folks. As I said, I'm going to kind of treat this as a normal member webinar. It's not that I'm going to ignore all the potential new folks. Here's the way we work at Top Gun Options. In these type of situations, I just open up the doors to the squadron, and you get to watch our normal flight operations on our flight schedule. You get to hang out in our ready room, watch what our pilots are doing, watch what the instructor's doing, and then maybe at the end, I'll tell you how to potentially grab a slot. Real quickly, though, for those that are typing a bunch of N's in the chat box with your names, welcome aboard. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. I'm pretty sure my parents, I don't know, but I think they like me. They didn't name me that. I earned that as a call sign flying the FA-18 Hornet for the United States Navy for about 15 years. I graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School and also flew 44 combat sorties over Iraq. Just had an absolute blast serving our country. Flew in a backseat of essentially a MiG over Pakistan. Got to fly with the Blue Angels and one of my best friends when he was the opposing solo. And there's me leaving Iraq over Kuwait. That's Kuwait right underneath my airplane. That's about how big Kuwait is, folks. It's the size of just about the size of Fort Lauderdale. I'm sitting here. Beautiful 29th floor of the Icon building on Las Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. That's about how big Kuwait is. Short story long, I applied everything I was learning flying a fighter aircraft, having a strategy, implementing tactics, being disciplined, managing risk, contingency planning, knowing when to get out of a bad situation before it got worse, or knowing when to get out of a good situation before it got worse, for that matter. And it worked extremely well. My returns were through the roof, and I eventually popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage options trading firms in the world. Yes, it's being recorded. Absolutely, folks. I handle the recording. So, and if you've never heard of it, you probably haven't. It's called VXX Investments. Right here, all these big, this is the Chicago Board of Trade, man. Very, very famous intersection, the intersection of Jackson and LaSalle. And that's VXX Investments right there. Beautiful trading floor. I was a managing director of strategy. Did a lot of good stuff when I was there. I helped build a retail brokerage firm called Options House, which has gone down in flames, not because I left or anything I did. They were bought by E-Trade, and E-Trade's horrible. So we're probably, just to give my members a quick update, I've had great phone calls, huge. No one does phone calls better than me. Huge phone calls with TradeStation. That's where I'm heading, and we're going to get you a great deal. They're going to rebate 20% of your annual full throttle training, folks. So if you spend $29.95 on your full throttle training, you're going to get cash money back in your account, your commissions. And check this out. I have close to 50 active duty members here at Top Gun Options. You ready for this, ladies and fellas? You get commission-free trading for the rest of your time on active duty. One of my buddies who I went through Top Gun with, Shrek, he said, Wiz, that's about $6,000 a year for me. So Shrek, I'll take half of that and let's call it a day, my friend. So short story long, they brought me up, little old retail trader like you, and I essentially helped run this $2.5 billion firm. I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN.TV. We were more or less the CNBC for options. We used to shoot on the floor of the CBOE and the CBOT and give retail traders such as yourself a behind-the-scenes look at what was going on in the options world. Essentially, I know John and Pete Najarian. They do a pretty decent job, obviously on CNBC, which I call Comedy Central, but they're essentially paying lip service to options folks. CNBC really, they put us out to pasture. Real quick, you know what? Let me show you something funny here, guys. I shared this as my what is it? Flashback. Throwback Tuesday, whatever the hell people call it. Let me show you this video. This popped up in one of my memories here. Here it is, right here. We shot this video on the floor of the CBOT after the market closed. I had to share that with you folks. That was pretty cool. We shot that after the market closed. So, founder and CEO of the Options News Network decided that even though I love the Midwest and beautiful Chicago people, you can keep the winners. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And now I live down here in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Real quick on our methodology, because I want to get to our trades, and my members are here for a reason, but I didn't want to be rude and leave all you guys in the background here. Here's our methodology. It's not rocket surgery. Pretend you're a general or an admiral in the U.S. Navy, and I'm a young lieutenant. I'm going to give you a strategic and operational brief before we get tactical. The average retail trader, no offense to any of the folks Andrew sent over for today's webinar, you're very tactical. You don't know what the hell you're doing for dinner tonight, let alone what you're trading this afternoon, or for that matter, out a couple years to January of 2020. We do. We're not tactical. Today, I'm going to give you a quick strategic brief. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world. The Bank of England just raised interest rates for the first time in over a decade. What's going on in China? What's going on with oil? What's going on in the Middle East? What's going on with North Korea? And then we peel back the onion, so to speak, and we get operational. We take a look at what's going on in the United States. Huge news day today. Not only do we get a new Fed chairman, we also got the tax, the details of the tax plan that have been, it's like been death by 1,000 cuts. Every month for the past, since he's been elected, huge tax reform coming, and it's going to underwhelm all of us, and the market might implode because of it. After I give us a domestic brief, then and only then can we get tactical. Now, I'd love to try and get 2 trades on. I might get an immediate trade on Tesla, because this thing, that's stupid. We'll get to that in a second. So if you're brand new to TGO, first of all, ditch this term for the rest of your trading career. There's no such thing as an option strategy. The double vertical that I show you today, or the bull put spread, or selling cash secured puts, or buying a call, those are not strategies, folks. Yes, they are. What is the Iron Condor is my favorite strategy? You're wrong. An Iron Condor is a tactic, ladies and gentlemen. A strategy, a financial strategy, folks, is saving for college, short-term income generation, buying a boat out here in Fort Lauderdale in 6 months. Those are strategies. Tactics, like an Iron Condor, a bullish double vertical, those support strategies. So I'm going to teach you a lot here at TGO, guys, and I'll let you know how to get on board at the end here. And here's how we do it. Strategically, we go out a couple years. What was it? Yesterday, we put on a long call diagonal on Raytheon in the defense sector. I guarantee you, and I don't say that word often, by the time we close that trade out in 1.5 to 2 years, it's a $40,000 to $50,000 gainer. If you'd like, we closed a JP Morgan long call diagonal in at Jan, 18? No, 17, for about a $38,000 gain in 1.5 years. I mean, how many of you would like to average about $2,000 to $3,000 a month in a trade? Yeah, I would. So then we get operational, folks. We get operational, and we trade the front months, vertical spreads, iron condors, hedges. So after that, tactical trading here at Top Gun Options is through our weekly options model portfolio. Going to kind of sit on our hands for directionally in that. We're going to trade VXX and volatility going forward, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, very, very quick, down and dirty. No offense, or don't want to be rude to my guests, but that's about the quick and dirty on what you're going to get out of here. Harry, Raytheon up $2.77 today. Nice trade. Sweet. The video toolbar is blank, but your face is okay, guys. I'm not sure if the camera is working or not. I can try that again. I have a face for radio, my mom liked to say, right? So, folks, trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. And at Top Gun Options, I'm going to teach you the tactics and the methodologies to be on the winning side. Okay? So let's go ahead and get airborne. Enough slides. Can't stand them. Analyze your trade and debrief, folks. We have a lot of good stuff going on in our new portfolio here. One of the things that we covered this week that I'm gonna stress again today are the 5 sectors that I think we need to be in. Not only trading out to January of 2020 because the new leaps are coming out, but also trading the front months. Okay, if you have a strategic mindset out 2 years on a JP Morgan, on a Facebook, well, guess what? You should be trading the front months as well. So let me again post this because I know some of you are just in Analyze Your Trade and you didn't see this earlier in the week. Let me post this in the comments, and I want you to, I don't know if you can copy and paste it, or maybe I'll just give you access to this. Let me give you at least access, even to the Andrew Keen folks. Let me share with you the replay from our weekly options brief on Monday. This is a must watch, folks. If you're interested in at anything that I do here at TGO, you have got to watch Monday's webinar. Not right now. I'll put the link in here. Save this for later. Kids go to bed, get done with work. Bookmark that and watch that for me, okay? Because I don't want to take up a lot of airtime right now. The summary slide of this is you need to be in a tech, period. I'm an Apple, Facebook, or Amazon guy, okay? But you know what? They ain't cheap. I think all of us, if we all chipped in, $100, we could do one contract on a long call diagonal on Amazon. That ain't super smart. So maybe you take a look at employing the XLK instead, the technology ETF. Have to be in a financial, folks. We get a new Fed chief today, Jerome. What's his name? Jerome Powell. He is a Republican, and he is a low interest rate guy. He is a Donald Trump Fed chair. That's bullish. Okay, we're going to talk about GDP. Huge GDP. Nobody does GDP better than me. This is bullish for the market, folks. So we're getting a new Fed chief, so you want to be in a financial. Why? Because interest rates are going to start going up. They might be gradual. We heard Janet kind of soothe the market the other day and say, slow and steady wins the race. Great. But over time, these financials are going to get on a great climb schedule. Can't stand Goldman Sachs. You guys know me. Used to love it. Card-carrying member of Goldman Sachs. Seller of it. I like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and if you don't like either of those, look at the XLF. Defense. Folks, and for my new potential members joining me today, I like to say I'm Gordon Gekko, and I'm a fighter pilot, meaning this. I'll put on my $6,000 Armani suit and say, I really don't give a shit about war. I care that the defense stocks are going up. It sounds a little awful, doesn't it? That's why I left Wall Street, folks, is there are people like that. They're already talking about how to make money off the dead people in New York. Me wearing a flight suit, it makes me so mad I want to spit. The fact that guy was not put on a military plane and flown to Guantanamo Bay and put in front of a military tribunal and shot after that makes me want my face to implode. The liberal prosecutors in New York charged this man and read him. He has no rights, folks. You're an enemy combatant. If you guys don't know this, here's my rant for the day. If you wage war, you're supposed to wear a uniform. It's believe it or not, rules of war. You can't use mustard gas. There's stuff you can't do. If you wage war against this country and you run over innocent men, children died, folks. You are waging war against this country, not in a uniform. You're supposed to be shot or hung or whatever. I'm old enough, folks, not old enough to have been born during the time, but I know my history. What happened to the 7 Nazis, the German saboteurs who landed in wherever it was, Jersey or New York? They got busted, man. They weren't wearing German uniforms. They came here to do what this guy did in New York, and FDR put them in front of a military tribunal and hung 5 of them. We are going, the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, is not a suicide pact. And I'm beside myself that they are treating these people like this. It is awful. That's exactly right, Kerry. We're fighting. We are playing touch football while these guys are playing tackle, and we're going to get killed with that mentality. Put that guy on a plane, put him in front of a military tribunal. Okay, enough. Where was I going with that? Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics. Raytheon, let me show you real quick. And Harry, you're right. It's going to be a hell of a trade. Look at Raytheon, RTN. If you join today, folks, I'll give you access to the replay from yesterday, and I'll show you the long call diagonal we did. Look at the climb schedule of Raytheon. And why do I get into it yesterday? You got to watch my video from yesterday. Look at this. Harry, you're right, man. Did we nail it yesterday or what? Bang! I told you. This is not a gap. This is a gap. This thing's going to fill half that gap and keep going. So I hope all of you guys are happy with yesterday. Getting a lot of hell yes in the chat box from my members. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's up 1.7% today. For my members, this is still a good trade, folks. 2 years from now, I think Raytheon's a $300 stock. Look at that climb schedule. Okay, so that's a defense. I got on my little rant because Donald Trump's president. I think he's going to win again. When you have idiots at NBC yesterday, you know what they were reporting on? They were worried about the potential backlash against Muslims. That's what their lead story was. The lead story wasn't 8 dead Americans and how we should mourn for them, and holy crap, there's 8 dead people on the street. NBC led with, whoa, Muslims fear backlash. Are you kidding me? Enough. Number 4, energy. I'm an ExxonMobil guy. We talked about that last night in our long call diagonal training. Love ExxonMobil, or use the XLE. And finally, number 5, sector, folks. You got to pick what I call a Captain Kirk trade to boldly go where nobody's going right now. I like Brazil, EWZ, and I also like Japan, the EWJ. Look at our Brazil trade. Where's Kevin? Kevin and a bunch of my other folks who got in here perfectly. This is when people who I thought I was very good friends with, all full disclosure, folks, I know the executives at JBS. So write that down, JBS scandal, and Google it after this webinar. I know all of those men. I gave 15 to 20 speeches in the past 2 years around the world for JBS, and it turns out they're on tape trying to bribe the president. Market imploded. 2 days later, after we hit the bottom, I said, I'm shocked to know that there's political corruption in Brazil. They impeached Dilma, the last president. Who is it? Lula, before her, is most likely going to jail. This is what they do in Brazil, folks. The market will implode based on that news, and then we got this rip your face off rally. So I like the EWJ here, and that would be my long. Okay. Tim, close the EWZ today for good profits. I know, Vasilius, 5 of the victims were from Argentina. Doesn't that break your heart? These people are tourists. They come to New York, the best city in the world, and they get mowed down. Did anybody see that this dude was going to, his game plan was to go on to the, the Washington Bridge, or the George Washington Bridge? It was going to keep going, folks. Where is it? Right here. So this guy wanted to kill his. Where's all of our anti-gun advocates, man? Is anybody creeped out besides me that for weeks we haven't heard a word about what happened in Las Vegas? Not a word. The guy's hard drive is missing, and his brother gets charged with being a pedophile. Something. But look at this guy. FBI terrorists plan to continue killing spree on the Brooklyn Bridge. And let's just read this guy his rights and throw him into Rikers Island. I'm beside myself, guys. I served this country for 15 years. 15 years. 10 on active duty, 5 in the reserves, and I buried 11. I buried 10 of the finest men and 1 woman of the best women. I buried the first female Navy fighter pilot, Kara Holdgreen. Google that name. And it's awful. So, guys, why do I bring up this thing? Our MGM position that expires tomorrow. We put on a synthetic stock long call diagonal out to what, the 2020s are out, right? Or no, the Jan 19s. This is a hold. We have a 31 and a half bear call spread. We're hovering right around 31. I think the break even is like, what, 31.30? I don't see some super massive rally into the close tomorrow, and I'll debrief you why in a second. So keep an eye on MGM. Vasilis, next week I will tell you, Matthew, what stupid questions I was asked by the INS when I got my citizenship. You will not believe it. Vasilis, you know what? I probably will believe it. All right, folks, quick strategic and operational brief. The Bank of England raised rates for the first time in over a decade. That's going to kick. Remember, folks, this rally, this multi-year rally is based on what? The Fed's Hopium. Low interest rates. Write this witticism down. When stocks are low, when interest rates are low, stocks will grow. When interest rates are high, stocks will die. We've been in this near zero rate interest environment since Ben Bernanke was born, right? You can't, and his $85 billion a month taper. Remember what happened when Ben Bernanke, the bartender, started what was called the taper. The market drunks did what? They had taper tantrums. They were pullbacks, they were violent, but they were also what? BTFD moments. Where is it? Where's the headline from the Wall Street Journal? Right here. Why are markets rising everywhere? Investors can't stop buying the dip. Buying the dip. Every one of these dips has been bought. None of these, and listen to me, folks, especially if you're from Andrew's crowd. Every pullback, listen to what I am saying. Every pullback year to date has been political. You can't see it. It's aged off the left side of the radar scope here. Everybody remember I'm a libertarian. I'm not a Republican, guys. I'm no super Trump supporter. I want to live in Montana on the top of a mountain with my family, my guns, my bullets. Leave me alone. I'll throw enough money in the kitty as far as taxes, as long as it's the same as everybody else is contributing percentage-wise. Leave me alone. The idiots, the Republicans who are idiots, they voted 63 times under Obama to repeal Obamacare. Under a Republican, they couldn't do it once. So that first pullback, let me get my little red bouncing ball here. Over here was an Obamacare implosion. Holy crap, if he can't get Obamacare repealed, his entire agenda is in danger. Impeach him. Okay, we bought that dip. Everybody remembers what this dip is? Everybody who thought Jim Comey was a Washington Boy Scout now has egg on his face. The man's a liar and he's a felon, and he might end up in jail. So there's the Jim Comey pullback. Remember, he leaked through his best friend to the New York Times some memos that were created on government computers and on FBI time, which is a crime. Don't worry about it. As long as you're Democrats, you can get away with it. These little down thing. This was Donald Trump Jr. emails. He might have met with a Russian lawyer to get dirt on Hillary. Treason. Pullback. Everybody remember this one? This one is the Donald Trump sitting in New Jersey in his golf club saying what? I call this the Pulp Fiction day. I'm going to rain fire and fury on North Korea. I swear to God, folks, I sat here. I was like, I immediately looked at the VIX. I'm like, it's going to hit 90, just like when I was in the Board of Trade in 2008. I think it went up. I was like, what? The leader of the free world just threatened to vaporize 20 million North Koreans. Market goes up. This pullback. This is after of course, the Nazis that Trump supports in Charlottesville, and all the liberals frothing at the mouth saying what? Gary Cohn, the head of the National Economic Council from Goldman Sachs, and Steve Mnuchin, a guy I had dinner with, the Treasury Secretary, they have to resign. They can't stay in Trump's cabinet. He's a racist. They didn't. Ever since that point, folks, everything has been fine. I'm going to tell you right now, in Wiz's humble opinion, my members know on a daily basis I speak to folks in the Pentagon. I have a couple buddies who are legislative aides on the Hill. I got a lot of buddies on Wall Street and a lot of people at sea level. I got a pretty big Rolodex, folks. In case you don't know, I also do motivational speaking around the United States and the world. So I got a pretty damn big network. Short of a nuclear war or shots being fired in North Korea, this thing will melt grudgingly to the upside. However, and sit up straight and listen, we are going to see what we saw last week a lot more. Triple digit down, triple digit up. We're going to see some violent chop beforehand. Before the end of the year, folks, does anybody know right now how many legislative days there are to get this thing passed? This is the first shot across the bow. Does anybody know there, what is it, 9? Let's say today's over with. There are 8, 9, like 8, 9. Okay, good. You guys are smarter than I am. Give me your delta, folks. I'm an idiot. What's your delta on the Republicans getting tax reform passed by the end of the year? And let me remind you that this dude, Steve Mnuchin, and again, full interest of disclosure, Steve Mnuchin helped run Dune Capital in New York. Okay? Now I'm going to brag for a second. It's time for me to brag. I don't brag too often, and if I do, it's usually about somebody else. Where's my let me find something real quick. Where is she? Nope. I think it's in a slide, actually. Let me see if it's in this one. Let me look in here, guys, real quick, because I do. I love my family very much, and sometimes I gotta, you gotta talk about the fam. If I can't find it, here it is. So my sister, if you look at Steve Mnuchin's background, Steve Mnuchin was at, he worked with my Dan Neidick. If you don't know Dan, he's another Goldman Sachs. These are all Goldman Sachs heavies and my sister. My sister is Kia her last name is Marakovitz, Kia Buckley. She's the CIO, managing director of Dune. That's where Steve Mnuchin just came from, and he's our Treasury Secretary. So when my sister I guess she was nominated or whatever, to be a woman. She was Woman of the Year in New York a couple years ago. So I got the honor of having dinner with Mr. Mnuchin. When this dude says, hey, man, hey, if you don't pass a tax bill, the markets are going to tank. And when Reuters the other day says, failure could spell a stock sell-off. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this market is looking for the Fred Sanford to grab their chest and implode and say, this is the big one, Elizabeth. The market is hoping, looking. I talk to market participants daily, folks. I live on my phone, Skype. I go for a run down to the beach. I'm talking to people. People want this 3 to 5% sell-off. You need that 3 to 5% sell-off. Little A Few Good Men quote. Okay, good. Everybody's putting their deltas in there. I don't think I'm the only one. There's something else happening in December, folks, that could really, really be a flashpoint. What is it? Fish. I see who got the good looks in the family. You son of a... That was a good one. You got it, Greg, JW. A debt ceiling fight, folks. Remember, in October last month, Donald Trump outmaneuvered the Democrats and did a deal with Nancy and Chuck to kick the can, I hate that term, to December. We have to get tax reform done by the end of the year. We have a debt ceiling fight coming up around Kwanzaa, if that's what you celebrate. And we have the president hopping on an airplane and going over to the DMZ to go stick his middle finger up to North Korea. And I don't put him past it that it happens. Chuck's a 0.8 delta. Greg's a 9 delta. JW's a 0.1. Dennis is a negative 100. Brian, I can't count that many decimal points. Brian's got point and about 15 zeros and a 1. Mark's saying it's a 50-50 delta. Guys, remember, and ladies, Steve Mnuchin said we would get tax reform passed by when? August. What happened in August, folks? He got up like the smarmy guy that he is, the mealy face guy, and said what? Well, I misunderstood Washington, and I was a little over-aggressive in saying August. You know what he said at that press conference? What word did he use? He said, hopefully. I'm a political science major, folks. I listen to every word politicians, attorneys, or whoever say, or people say. He said potentially. Why am I doing all this? And look at that. On time, on target. Finished my strategic and operational brief to the second. Love it. Why am I briefing you on this? Because if your portfolio does not have a short-term hedge or trade or what we call a tredge, I think you're pretty damn foolish. All offense attended. If you're new here, guys, when it comes to fighter aviation, there are no punches pulled. When we get into a debrief room, you'd think we hate each other, but it's about getting better. So I want to hit you right between the eyes with stuff. Look at the volatility index. You know what? Before I get into this, guys, I haven't done an urgent alert in a couple weeks. This is it. Let me blast this out real quick, and I'll try and follow up with a video before I hop on the airplane tomorrow to Lake Tahoe. This is stupid. The tax plan, not only Donald Trump doesn't like this dude. When's earnings? Earnings were today. Guess what? This thing is imploding based on what? What just came out in the tax plan? He's getting rid of the credits for all of this stuff. Okay? This is a bearish trade. I would pound this into the dirt. There is not going to be a dead cat bounce here, folks. This doesn't look like Raytheon. Yes, I'll show you that. RTN, guys, the trade from that I did yesterday on Raytheon is a hell of a trade, and absolutely, that is a yes for today. Yes, the credits are gone. CP, you're exactly right. The electric vehicle credits are gone. The other reason I am bearish on Tesla, ladies and gentlemen, is this. They have limited production. It's done being folks, I have another place up in Boca Raton that I call God's waiting room. It's done being a badge. It's like women wearing Lululemon pants to the mall when they haven't seen the inside of a gym in 30 years. Tesla's over with. BMW, General Motors, all of these guys will be coming out with their own cool electrical cars. Tesla was a flash in the pan. Trump's getting rid of the tax credits. He hit it. Mark, trust me, the first thing I do when I see John Thomas tomorrow night in Tahoe is go, and he drives a Tesla. He'll be driving it to the event probably. I told him this stock was done for, and I think it is. It's over with for Tesla. So real quick to my urgent alert traders, the No 17, let me build this really quick and send it out. I don't want to shortchange you, so maybe sitting on the airplane, I'll try and write up what do I have, the 315, 320, a trade plan for you. But let me at least blast it out. So for the folks that are eavesdropping and getting to hang out with us, 315, 320, the No 17, 315, 320. We're going to sell that one and buy that one. I had it for $1.10. Crap, it's already going down. Maybe $1. No, I'll stick with $1.10. All right. If you're eavesdropping, just hang with me. This is a bonus trade. I haven't done an urgent alert for a while, but I'm going to pound Tesla into the dirt here. CP, Tesla, you have a large dedicated fan base that love this company, its founder, and its products. So did Jim Jones. and I love the cuidado. I appreciate it, CP. Very, very good red team. Very good red team comments. I appreciate that. But folks, their production, how many do I have? 15 contracts? Their production is limited. The electronic vehicle credits are going away, and this dude's in trouble. Okay, so CP, I love the red team. If we had more time, I'd rip apart this trade with you, but I want to get this out to my urgent alert guys, and I want to spend more time on either VXX or SPX. File, save as, TSLA. So what I'm doing, folks, is I'm taking a screenshot because when I send out the replay to my members, I put in the screenshot. Now, if you're new, and even for my existing members, I train you to do what? So here's what I'm doing. I'm selling 15. Why 15, Wiz? Give me 1 minute. I'm selling 15 of the regular NOV. I just want to go out a couple weeks. 315 calls. Why? That's half the gap. The stock gap down today. Let me just close this real quick. I do not think it is going to fill, let me do this, half this gap. This is a technical point. If Tesla, during the life of this trade, starts to get back on its horse and looks like it'll fill the gap, get out of the trade. And I'll send you a text alert. Stop. Where's 315? Right there. This stock needs to fill half this gap for this. I don't even think it's going to do a dead cat bounce. I think we kind of just roll over and go down here. This is I'm putting this at the half the gap point. Okay. There have been warnings for months. I know, Kevin. I've been waiting for this moment to pound Tesla into the dirt, and we're going to do it. So, sell 15 of the regular Nove 315 calls. What's that mean? That's me saying, hey, Tesla, Wiz talking here. What's up, man? Not much. I don't think you're going to be above $315 by November 17th. Okay, great. Well, Wiz, what if you're wrong? 2 weeks, a week and a half from now, Elon Musk announced that he is in fact Jesus Christ reincarnate, and the stock goes to $1 million. Well, I'm happy for that because I believe in Jesus Christ coming again, but I'm hedged. I am long above 320, so if this thing does have a rip your face off rally, I'm hedged. Okay? So 315, 320. Now, when I push this button, ladies and gentlemen, the first place your eyes are going to look, and only look, is one place: max potential loss. You ready? 3, 2, 1, right here. Sad face dude. Whoa. Is that? What are you, Eeyore? No, I'm not. I'm a Hornet pilot and options trader. And I always look at max potential loss first. Folks, our model portfolios, and we're moving to TradeStation next week. E-Trade sucks. We're going to have on a $100,000 model portfolio. My SOP that I'm going to teach you all about, a standard operating procedure, is I don't want to risk more than 5% on any one trade of the model portfolio. That's $5,000. Why? We'll talk about it. You could be 1%, you could be 10%, you could be 100%, and you'd be a fool. But you have to come up with your own rule of engagement. So if I'm not okay with losing $5,900, as a matter of fact, it's just a little north of my SOP. But guess what? As the commanding officer, I get to do that. Okay, so now I can bring my eyes up and go look at Mr. Smiley. Holy crap, with $1,600 in 2.5 weeks, and they're using current, as I'm speaking to you, at the money volatility, there's a 78% probability of a max profit and a 80% chance of at least breaking even. Remember, on this brokerage platform, the blue line is Tesla. Here's how we make money 3 ways as an options trader. That's why I can't stand people who trade stock. People who trade stock can make money 3 ways. The buy, hope, and pray method, right? Or sell it short, and that's nuts. We make money 3 ways on this trade. Tesla stays right where it is and hangs out. Tesla goes down, which I think it's going to, or Tesla goes up. Wait a minute, it goes up? Yeah, it can go up as long as it doesn't go above our short call. This trade makes money 3 ways. And ladies and gentlemen, I like being the house. I like doing what is called a credit spread. I like selling something. Right down the street is the Fort Lauderdale Ferrari dealer. Soon as you have your midlife crisis and peel out of the parking lot with that $250,000 car, guess what? It's worth $225,000. If you did a U-turn and came back in the lot, they'd buy it back for about $200,000. That's called theta. That's called time decay. You want to be the dealer. But I got to be honest with you guys. I'm changing my mind on this. I'm going to do the 310, 315. 310, 315. Let's see the metrics on that one. I don't think it's going to fill that gap. I love this trade even more. Look at this. It's almost 3 out of 4 times. It's almost a 75% probability of breaking even. Can you guys hear me? CP said the sound died. Okay, good. It's on his end. So look at this. I like this one better. You can potentially, risking $5,600, make nearly $2,000. This trade's better than the first one. So hang on a second. Let me grab a new screenshot of this and blast this text alert out to my members. New Thank you. So this is what I do, folks. Even if you can't make, we have 4 live trade briefs a week here at Top Gun Options. Wiz, I work during some of those times. Doesn't matter. I'm going to send you a text alert. After the webinar is over, I'm going to send you a screenshot of the trades along with the recording. So you're not going to be missing anything. I've had members, I can show you a testimonial from one of my members that was like, hey, Wiz, I'm so stoked to be here. I've been a member for 3 years and only watched the recordings. I guess they had a day off or something. So you don't have to be here, folks. Watch the text alert I'm going to send out. File, save as. I'm sorry I blew through this. I don't go through these that quickly. I want to get this out to my urgent alert folks. Okay, and I'm not going to ignore all the questions in the chat box, folks. Just let me cruise and get the text alert out, and then maybe we can talk about stuff. Okay, what is it? The 315 310, 315 310. And again, I have to put this over my TradeStation account. I don't know if they have my, it's $1.20, right? $1.20, no 17. I don't know if they have our urgent alert portfolio up. So check this out, folks. If you remember, this is, so let's go to right here. This is the portfolio. It's called Analyze Your Trade Debrief. New TSLA bear call spread, 15 contracts, NOV 17 expiry, sell the 310 calls, buy as a hedge the 315 calls at $1.20. It's a credit spread, folks. We're the house. Plus or minus. Now, if you're new, I'm going to blow through this too. You got to join up. Plus or minus about 10 cents, folks, meaning I'll go down to $1.10 credit today or all the way up to $1.30. Anything outside of that range, it's either too cheap or too expensive, okay? The risk to reward either isn't worth it or I might go up a couple strikes. NOV 17 expiration. No, it says right there. Now, if this trade starts going against me and Tesla starts going up in value, my credit is going to start going up, and that's a bad thing. So I'd scratch my chin and start going, what's wrong with this trade at about $2? And then I have another level in my trades here at Top Gun Options that I call the eject point. Real quick, folks, my rule of thumb for all the new people is I double the credit that I take in as my eject, meaning I get done with this webinar. I get filled. I go for a run on the beach. I come back before the close. Holy crap, this trade's up at 230, 235, 240. Eject. Don't take the max loss, folks. Don't fly this thing into the side of a mountain. I never flew any mission over Iraq without an ejection seat. So these are the two levels in the trade where I'd look to adjust it. Okay, what's the profit target on this trade? At TGO, I'm going to teach you that if there's a 7, 8, or 9, meaning a 70, 80, or 90% profit in a credit spread, start looking to close the thing, man. How many, you don't have to answer, how many of you have had a 90% winning credit spread and said, it's expiring in a couple days. I want that extra $300. And you know what happens? Something incredible, bad or good happens, and you get blown out of the stock, out of your trade. How many of you have taken a 70, 80, 90% credit spread winner and turned it into a 100% loser? Tim's filled it at $1.23. Yep, I did. Me. Not anymore at TGO. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Another Richard. Learn the hard way, Sylvana. Okay, so let me blast this out. So, folks, again, if you're not here to attend this session, here's what I do. I send you the text. And for some folks, I think it's in Canada, they some of their telecom folks, we send texts around the world. We have 37 member countries here. Sounds like the UN. I have buddies that get text alerts in Afghanistan. Hey, fellas. But some folks have SMS issues because their carriers think this is a spam number. It's 5 digits. So AYT debrief new. So I send them an email right now. It takes as many seconds as a text. New Tesla bear call spread. And again, I apologize for going fast, but my members, we haven't gotten an urgent alert in a while, and they need one, and it's Tesla. Fire. Now, as I'm not only the Hair Club for Men, what is it, member, I'm also the president. There you go. I got my text alert. That means the pipes are working. Sweet. Everybody get their text alert? Good. Excellent. If you did, I'm talking to my members, folks. If you didn't get it, it's because you're maybe joining us in about 15 minutes when I tell you how to join. Dr. Aronson, it was in I was in full throttle. It was in accelerated retirement. Remember, Doc, I don't send out text alerts for accelerated retirement because those trades aren't supposed to be super, super timely. Okay, so it was yesterday, Doc, and let me get you the link for this just to share with you. It is right. Accelerated retirement, folks, we do every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. It's a more conservative portfolio. So here it is right here, Doc, and I'll give you the link. So here's the law. If you're really quick and you're not a member yet, you might be able to steal a free trade. There's Brazil, and there's the Raytheon trade right there. Not quick enough. So I have 2 trades from yesterday, Brazil and Raytheon, Doc. So here you go. Copy. And obviously, folks, if you click on this link and you're not a member, it's going to give you an error. So no offense, but I just want to hook Doc up. Completed my bullish double vertical today. The bull call is up 10 cents. Nice job, Kevin. You bet, Doc. How many peeps get this text? I couldn't even tell you, man. I don't know how many members are in our alert system. Everybody see that? I can't see myself, but there you go. There's my text alert. So I send you a text when there's a new trade. I send you a text when there's a closing trade. I send you a text. Why did I get 2 of them? Oh, because I sent one to the bad, to my SMS issue people. Cool. So I got both of them. All right. Carrie got it. All right, good. It's working, folks. If it works for me, Harry got Tesla at $1.30. Okay. Now, folks, I don't want to keep you more than an hour. I talked a little bit longer on Tesla than I wanted to. Let me do this. You know what I'm going to do, folks, for the sake of time? In the primary live trade brief Tuesday morning, let me do this since I don't want to eat up a ton of bandwidth with where is our no, I did it Monday, right, folks? When did I do the VXX bullish double vertical, or was that full throttle? Somebody help me with my memory. They say in old men like me, the memory is the second thing to go. I think it's bullish double verticals, right? 10:31. It was full throttle, wasn't it? The reason I'm saying this is because you know what? It's right here. Let me. You know what? I'm going to open this post up. Watch this. Look how nice I am. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Sorry. Straight trons with GoToWebinar. So here's what I'm going to do. Check in the chat box, folks. Wait, oops, I forgot to press send on that first thing. This was the one from the other day. Watch both of these guys and look at. I want to hook you up with the VXX bullish double vertical. I hate rushing through trades, but I also hate going over on time. You have to watch this strategic mindset. So if you are not in a let's just go through VIX real quick. The VIX, the volatility index, folks, is a heart rate monitor. Something happens to freak the market out, and then it goes away. Freak the market out, it goes away. Really freak the market out, and then it goes away. Look at this extended period of almost no volatility. Wiz, are you kidding me? We could be at war with North Korea. We got ISIS attacking people in New York. We got tax reform that might fail. We have a debt ceiling fight. Why the hell isn't vol going through the roof? Welcome to me and about 1,000 of my other buddies I talked to about what the hell is going on. I interviewed, where's Terry Duffy's interview? Terry Duffy is the CEO of the CME Group. I know Terry. I've interviewed him. Thanks, Bloomberg. Silence. I know Terry. He's the head of the CME Group. I interviewed him several times on the Options News Network. He's never seen this in his career either. Traders are too afraid to buy and too afraid to sell. So what I did the other day was place a trade that is called a bullish double vertical on VXX. Meaning, and VXX, folks, it's got contango, it's got backwardation, it has to rebalance, it goes down over time. They just had to rebalance it, or what they do, a reverse 4-for-1 split. I would look at this. We're starting to get a little worried here. I would place a bullish double vertical right here. Let me build it for you real quick. And again, I hate throwing this stuff out here super quick. But I also hate keeping people longer than I said I would. Let me just build the trade. Maybe you can take a screenshot of it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you think something is going to go up, you know what, Wiz? You sufficiently scared the hell out of me. I do think something's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 weeks to freak the market out. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, Wiz, I could buy a bull call spread, and I'd laugh at you. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, especially my potential new folks, if you think volatility is going to go up, you ready? This is like Yogi Berra. If you think something is going up, what do you also think it's not going to do? And this isn't a trick question. That's exactly right, folks. It's not going to go down. So guess what? Harry, I saw that. The New York Times has a full page calling for people to a civil war against Trump on November 4th. Thoughts? I'm flying back from Reno on November 4th, and thank God. That's what I'm talking about. So, guys, why would you just buy a bull call spread on VXX when if you don't think it's going down, you could also do what? A bull put spread. The bull call spread is also called a credit spread. A debit spread. The bull put spread is the credit spread. You can use the credit from the bull put spread to buy this bull call spread. Now I'm going to zip through this, folks, and hopefully that tells you want to join up. Let me just build this trade at option, at option, at option. Sell, buy, sell. This is called a bullish double vertical. I'm bullish on volatility, and I'm using 2 spreads, and it's a vertical. Watch this trade. Maybe the 35s, and these are obviously the calls, and the 35.5. Super quick on this, but I gotta move, folks. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You ready? Let me throw 125 in here just for a placeholder. I'm doing 50 cent wide. You could do $1 for less contracts. Let me just take a look at this is it. You ready? I'm going to rip through this, guys, but look at this trade. First of all, let's look at the picture. If you've never heard of this trade, in about 10 minutes, you're going to sign up for Top Gun Options. I'm going to change your life. You ready? This is called a bullish double vertical. There is a bull put spread. There is a bull call spread. Think about it. Folks, Wiz, you're right. Something's going to happen between now and November 24th. It's just what's going to happen. I don't know. I just gave you a strategic and operational brief on a lot of bad things that could happen. But guess what? Blistering GDP, good jobs numbers, good tax plan, whatever. There's a lot of reasons this market can still go up. So this will serve as a great, let's call it a bilge pump, a hedge in case something bad happens and volatility spikes. So there's the blue line, which is currently the VXX. All we need is something to freak us out. And this, we saw it the other day. When it was leaked that the tax plan might be phased in over 5 years, what did the market do? It pulled back and the VIX went from 960 to like 1040. That's a big jump in the VIX. So let me go back to the trade, and you should, on top of your little viewing window where you're where you're seeing the screen, there's a little camera icon. Do me a favor, and everybody right now, take a picture of this trade. Everybody take a picture of this trade right now, because I don't know if I'm going to have time to put it in the replay email for non-members. Okay? Take a picture. How do we build this trade? Let me show you. And there's hundreds of good questions in the chat box, folks. You join, you become a member. We'll talk 4 times throughout the week in our live trade briefs, and I'll answer all of them. And tonight, you can join me in full throttle iron condor training at 7. I'm going to sell 125 of November 24th, 33.5 puts. Why? Why 125 contracts? Give me 1 minute. Why November 24th? I think something's going to happen in November to freak the market out. Why the 33.5s? They're just slightly below the money. You could play and maybe look at the 34s. If you really, really, really think vol is going to spike, and in the next week or two, throw the 34s in here and play with that math. Wiz, you're wrong. Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Ganesh, and Buddha came back to life 2 weeks from now, and volatility, the VIX went to 0. There's peace, love, and understanding that broke out around the world, and you're an idiot. Well, then I'd be the happiest man in the world, and so would you. But if that does happen and volatility implodes, we're long the VXX below 33. So who cares if it goes to 0? Our losses are stopped out. Bull put spread, also called a credit spread. We're bringing in coin to do this trade. Now what am I going to do, folks? I'm going to turn around and buy a bull call spread. Thank you. I love this point in these type of presentations with new members. I see a lot of light bulbs, a lot of hands, a lot of people going, holy crap. Exactly. Why would you waste money just buying a debit spread? If you think something's going up, you also don't think it's going down. Put on a damn bull put spread to pay for this. This should put the biggest smile on my potential new members' faces, and it's right here. This is a credit, folks. You see this down here? For 125 contracts, I'm bringing in a credit of $1,900. All right, Wiz, that's enough. Just throttle back. You're telling me that somebody just walked into my kitchen and said, I'm going to pay for your insurance for the next month. I'm going to pay for your auto, home, and life. It's on me. Here's $2,000. Yeah, I did. Now let's take a look at the metrics. Let me get rid of my shiny ball here. You ready? The max potential. We could actually do 150. Let me play with this. 135. Almost there. Maybe it is 150. Let me just do 150, guys. At mid-market. Look at this, folks. I am risking $5,200 to potentially make almost $10,000. Wiz, I love you. I love this trade. But look at the probabilities, my man. They're only 38%. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, E-Trade is showing you the best and worst case scenario. You know what really puts a smile on my face? That guy right here. There's a 58% probability of at least making some money or breaking even. A 60% hedge. This trade, 60% of the time, at least makes some money. And in my opinion, Folks, October was crazy to the upside. Usually it's October that sucks. I'm telling you, man, if something doesn't happen in November to freak the market out, I want to be wrong on this trade. I don't mind losing money on a hedge. You know why? I didn't lose money. Yeah, you did, Wiz. You lost $3,200 or whatever. What did my longs do? My Raytheons, my Facebooks, my Apples. They blew the cover off the ball and they kept going up. This is a hedge, folks. This is why you're at Top Gun Options. Look at that. Folks, you'd think I do this for a living. It's 2 o'clock. That is 1 hour, man. I put that bomb through the damn window. Let's look at the top left of that slide, man. Come on, golf clap. What's it say in the top left of that slide? Superior execution. Look at this up here. Discipline, risk management, superior execution. Okay, now, if you're a current member, you guys are cleared off. I'll get the replay out to you and shoot out an email with the recording, okay? If you are not a member, let me brief you on how you can become a member right now, okay? So here's where I need you to go. If you liked any, and again, I'm sorry it's rushed. We usually do an hour and a half, sometimes 2-hour trading sessions, sometimes an hour. If it felt rush, my apologies. But guess what? I'm not going to, it's not the United Way of Wiz, man. So here's where you need to go. If you are interested in becoming a member here at Top Gun Options, we'd be honored to have you. Here is the link. And let me just talk through this. You too, Tim. Absolutely. I will see you in Lake Tahoe tomorrow night. But guys, if you're not a member and you liked anything that you saw today, here's what you need to do. We have 3 tracks here at Top Gun Options. Okay? Defensive, offensive, and max. You bet, David. Defensive means you get access to everything we do here at TGO, but instead of trading weekly options every Monday, which is pretty damn tactical, folks, they can be awesome and they can suck, do the defensive track. Here's the annual membership investment, and then here's the monthly price. It's only $195. I had a bottle of wine last night that was twice that. For the price of a decent bottle of wine, you can get access to our defensive track. The offensive track is everything I just said. Instead of getting accelerated retirement portfolio every Wednesday, where we did the Raytheon trade, you get the weekly option service instead. Now, obviously, the last time we did this, 85% of the new members do this. It's the max afterburner. You get everything we do here, including the full 8 training sessions I'm doing, and weekly options and accelerated retirement. This is the full Monty, folks, right there. Okay, so, yeah, obviously, yes, folks, obviously, the annual memberships are cheaper, the hell of a lot cheaper. But if you want to dip your toe in the water for a couple months, I mean, God, this guy looks like he needs some more Red Bull and a Starbucks run. I'm very passionate about what I do, folks. I do this all day. I love it. I go work out, I come back, I trade. This is my passion. If I wasn't doing it for you guys, I'd be doing it for me, and I kind of was. I already got mine. I helped run a $2.5, $3 billion firm in Wall Street. Eventually, you get in the military, folks. When you make it, you know what you do? You put the ladder down. You know what they do on Wall Street when they make it? They pull that ladder up. So, folks, the annual membership is obviously a hell of a lot cheaper, okay? But you can try month to month for $295, $245, or $195. Yeah, whoever asked that, I will show them this. Folks, if you haven't, who said that? Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca's giving me shit for not showing you this, everybody, this article. The Huffington, I ain't no Huffington. I'm shocked that I was in the Huffington Post for anything other than I should be, locked in prison since I'm a libertarian. Do me a favor and read this article when you get a chance. This was like last week or something like that. And it's a pretty cool, it's a pretty cool art. I don't know who they wrote this about. When I read this, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I want to meet that dude. But this was kind of funny. But folks, for all my potential new members, you'll get access to all of our portfolios. Here's all the training you get access to: iron condors, bullish spreads, bearish spreads, double verticals, long call diagonals. You'll get our manuals, the primary, intermediate, advanced. You got a lot of stuff, folks. And I, It sounds like if it feels like you're drinking, from a fire hose right now, that's probably how it's supposed to be. Because I just airdropped you in the middle of one of our member briefs and said, hey, welcome aboard, and I tell you how to get on board at the end. Okay? So actually, let me read some of these comments before I split in case because there's a lot of them. And let me scroll up a little bit. I hate leaving a room with any questions. New York Times. Yeah, Harry, that sucks. Tim, golf clap. MGM front month expire. Third hits 72% mark. Time to take profit and put on another front month on. Harry, I wouldn't disagree with MGM. Be careful of earnings. Just what is it? November 8th. Don't trade the MGM. Trade through earnings. Wiz had doctor's appointment. Signed on at 125. Are you going to work with TradeStation? Yes, Fish. I briefed everybody yesterday. Awesome calls with TradeStation. Two of the heavies that used to be at Trade Monster, Don Prattle and Travis McGee, they used to come and do the platform demos of Trade Monster for us. And I used to go do webinars for them. They're at TradeStation. They're the director of education and the director of business development. We had a phenomenal, they're like, dudes, where you been? And they were like the same with me. So we're going to TradeStation, folks. I can't stand E-Trade anymore. It's awful. And like I said, you will get refunded. So for the brand new folks still listening, I would do an annual membership today. Why would I do that? Next week, when the ink is dry on our TradeStation agreement, TradeStation will refund you 20% of what you pay a year in your annual education fees. So if you do this monthly thing, what are they going to give you, $19 back? Don't do it. I would do an annual membership. And for example, if you do this one, the annual full throttle, which most people do, you will get $600 back to you from TradeStation in commission. I told you, and also active duty. If you're an active duty member or you're a first responder, police, fire, EMS, free trading at TradeStation, folks. And my buddy in the Pentagon's like, Wiz, that would have been $6,000 to me last year. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job negotiating for my folks with us heading over to TradeStation. Okay, JW, don't fill out your app yet for TradeStation. Nobody go anywhere. Okay, because you might have to put in a code or all sorts of stuff. Does that make sense? I will, Fish. Yeah, I'm going to change that right now. I will change that right now. So, all right, folks, I got to run. I'm going to get your replay out here. I'm going to get you the screenshots of that Tesla trade to my urgent alert, folks. And then make sure, if you are new, make sure you watch the weekly options brief from Monday, because I talk about those 5 sectors that we're going to be in. Okay? This time tomorrow, folks, I'm going to be in, where am I going? I think I connect through Phoenix, of all places, like Miami to Phoenix, Phoenix to Reno. So I will see a lot of you tomorrow night in the lobby or wherever the restaurant is in Lake Tahoe. I am bringing my ski gear, man. I hear we're getting dumped on, and we're going to have an absolute blast, okay? All right, folks, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll see many of you guys tomorrow night in Lake Tahoe.